No lore from me today, just gonna be talking about stuff. Yesterday while I was walking, I began to feel a numbing around my tip. My pecker, by the way. Wow, I let that slip. I should heed the doctor's words and not scratch that itch. That's 15 seconds. Welcome, my friends, to the motherfucking farm, Ramada, bitch! My claim today. The captain, Il Capitano, rank 1 of the Fatui Harbingers, is a hypocrite.
Oh, you
Okay, yeah. It's a big one. Big claim. Mighty big claim. Some might even consider those the biggest claims. Some might even go so far as to say those are fighting words. But, before I defend my claim, let me get you in the right headspace with an imaginary scenario that's going to sound oddly familiar to a lot of you, or it should. Let's pretend we're in the kingdom of Jababalenka. Yeah, so some of you know it's from. The kingdom of Jababalenka is currently getting ran through by a deadly virus that wipes out all who come into contact with it. If nothing more is done, the kingdom will fall. However, luckily for the inhabitants of the great Jababalenka, 2 people have come up with a way to save the kingdom. King Kakavshka, and his sage Gnosis. The king's plan is to formulate a cure using the blood of a 2,000-foot-tall Black Air Force octopus named O.J. Vengeance Simpson Jr. with machine gun tentacles and is currently on a kill streak of 3.2 million people. It's said only the blood of this octopus can cure the disease with no added side effects. The sage Gnosis' plan is to use a cure she made. It's ready to be used right now, and it will 100% stop the virus and prevent it from spreading, but it has the added side effect of wiping out the user's memory. So, which plan do you guys like more? Kakavshka's long shot with the best outcome, or Gnosis' guaranteed plan with a less than desirable outcome? Essentially, what I'm asking is it better to adopt the empathetic approach and gamble with fate for the best possible outcome, even if it's uncertain, I'd go so far as to say unlikely, or do we adopt the callous approach and guarantee survival at the cost of something irreplaceable? You will agree with who you agree with, but there are at least 3 people whose minds are already made up, because this little fictional world of mine is an allegory of Natlan's Archon quest. Mawika is the empathetic king and the captain is the callous sage. Natlan, facing imminent destruction at the hands of the Abyss, had 2 solutions. Either go with Mawika's long-shot plan with the best outcome of preserving the nation's identity, or go with the captain's. End the war immediately. Ensure the land's victory right here and now, at the cost of the nation's memories. Natlan will cease to be Natlan, but humanity will march forward.
The rules of Natlan are founded in the Night Kingdom. If you disappear, so do they. Not to mention, all the memories and legends recorded within the old ley lines will disappear along with you. The people of Natlan will face memory loss, mental disorders, and cognitive issues. Just like the consequences of using the Gnosis, that is a price I refuse to accept.
Humanity's survival is worth any price. Once the Abyss runs rampant, all that remains will be a land of corpses and ruin.
And when the new ley lines are invaded again by the Abyss? What then? How are future generations supposed to survive? A land without the Lord of the Night, without the protection of the rules, is doomed from the start.
You presume too much. If you cannot ensure survival in the present, you have no right to think about the future. What will it take for you to realize that? How many hundreds or thousands will have to die?
The situation hasn't gotten that dire yet, has it?
Why? Because I am a survivor of Khaenriah. I've witnessed the devastation and terror of the Abyss with my own eyes.
Khaenriah?
That's right. My family, my comrades, my homeland, were all lost to the Abyss. It is an unforgettable pain. One that no amount of time could ever dull. If I could go back, I would reject all false hope. I would do whatever it took to ensure their survival. You have that chance before you now. Why do you refuse to take it?
Because we don't have the right to make that decision. We love this world because it contains everything we hold dear. Everything that has happened here has moved us, shaped us, and turned us into who we are today. Giving up our memories and history would mean rewriting everything. The people of this world would then become fundamentally different beings, their physical bodies the only connection to their former selves.
Even so, given enough time, a new civilization would inevitably flourish. If you believe in humanity, you should trust in their ability to create a new future.
This scene has always been very interesting to me, because this justification the captain uses for how he can endorse such a heartless plan is that humanity's survival is worth any price. If we must sacrifice the current nation of Natlan's being to ensure it can go on, then so be it. He's taking this pragmatic utilitarian approach that the survival of everyone, in this case humanity, is placed above that of the individual, in this case Natlan, and that's the point. The captain doesn't want to save Natlan, he wants to save humanity, and he's willing to sacrifice Natlan to do so, and he all but admits this here.
Giving up our memories and history would mean rewriting everything. The people of this world would then become fundamentally different beings, their physical bodies the only connection to their former selves.
Even so, given enough time, a new civilization would inevitably flourish. If you believe in humanity, you should trust in their ability to create a new future.
His belief seems rooted in the idea that nations, cultures, and civilizations are bigger than the sum of their parts. Essentially, even if the people forget everything and lose their personal histories, the society as a whole will persist. His reasoning is that even if the people themselves are wiped out emotionally, the nation will continue and new generations will rise up to rebuild, just as history has seen time and time again. Sacrifice a nation to save humanity. The captain hardly sounds like a fatuous. No, my friends, the captain sounds like he'd get along fantastically with the heavenly principles, because this logic that sacrifices the few for the many, that values the future over the present, is the very logic Celestia thrives on. They wipe away memories, cultures, histories, believing that the greater good justifies erasing everything in the name of preservation. The captain, with his cold, calculated mindset, shares that same grim philosophy. He believes that the people's identity, their memories, their essence can be erased, because in the end, the nation will continue and humanity will survive. But here's the thing. While he stands in opposition to Celestia's methods, he's no different. He's just as willing to sacrifice humanity's soul for the sake of survival. He might not bow to Celestia, but make no mistake, my friends, his plan is rooted in the same chilling calculus, and that, my friends, is the true hypocrisy of Il Capitano. He's so blinded by his own righteousness that he fails to see the cold, heartless decisions he makes are no different from the ones he condemns as a member of the Fatui Harbingers, a group dedicated to waging war against Celestia. The captain doesn't just share their logic, he is them. And if that's the kind of savior he believes in, then he needs to stand down, because they're already here. All one has to do is simply look up. And many nations have been wiped from the face of Teyvat to keep humanity going. This should be a method that sits well with the captain. After all, had those divine nails not come down to cleanse the earth of the abyss following the war with the second who came, humanity would have been snuffed out entirely. By his own logic, sacrifice is necessary for survival. But something happened. Something made the captain fall victim to the very hypocrisy he now embodies. It happened to him. His nation, his home, was reduced to nothing more than a forgotten footnote, a pebble cast into the vast ocean of civilizations erased for the greater good, and he didn't like that. Even if Khaenriah posed a threat to the entire world, even if they were the epicenter of the cataclysm, he didn't like it. He didn't like the Curse of Immortality, a simple device meant to sever Khaenrians from the ley lines, ensuring they could never disrupt the natural order again. This burning hatred he harbors for Celestia isn't born from some noble sense of justice, no. It's because he tasted their cold logic firsthand. The same logic he believes in, the same ruthless calculation that he would willingly use on Natlan. It happened to him. Even if it was for the betterment of mankind, he doesn't like that him and his people had to suffer due to the weed they created in the Garden of Celestia.
In the garden cultivated by the gods, flowers and weeds grow side by side. When the weeds compete for nutrients in the soil, the gardener intervenes to inhibit their growth. I'm not one to pass judgment based on my own standard of right and wrong. But it is an undeniable fact that she is responsible for my suffering, as well as that of my people.
Well, then I ask the captain, what about the suffering the Natlanese would have had to endure had your plan succeeded? The plan that you endorsed, that you advocated for. They would have suffered mental disorders, cognitive issues plaguing an entire race of people. They would have forgotten who they were. This plan forces an entire race of people to pay an extraordinarily high price for humanity's survival. How would the captain respond? Well, we know how he'd respond.
Humanity's survival is worth any price.
I see. To the captain, a high price is necessary unless it's a price that he has to pay, his people have to pay. In which case, him attempting to uproot the natural order of this world due to the price he had to pay is completely justified. And that, my friends, is why the captain, Il Capitano, is a hypocrite.